Hello everyone, I'm River Chow. Today is April 17, 2026, and right now it's 2 p.m. But if I were living in ancient China, I would describe today differently. I would say today is the year of,
丙午
the month of,
壬辰
the day of,
辛酉
the hour of.
乙未
This is the heavenly stem and earthly branches system I want to introduce to you in this video. This system is far more than a calendar that marks time, it embodies the philosophy of Tao. Have you ever questioned who I am, what defines me? Why does something good happen in my life in one time, and something bad happen in another time? Are the event random or meant to happen? I believe this 10 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches system holds the most reasonable answers to all these questions. And that is why this system is still widely used today and can easily be found in the lunar calendar, feng shui chart, and bazireading chart. These Chinese characters of the heavenly stems and earthly branches might look overwhelming at first, especially if you can't read Chinese. No worry, just treat these characters as signs or sigil. Indeed, each one of the heavenly stems represents a different aspect of nature. And each one of the earthly branches is associated with a zodiac animal. With these features, even though you cannot read Chinese, you can still learn the system easily. Because these characters are unique nouns, much like the English letters A, B, and C, they cannot be translated directly. The most common translations we see today are simply based on their pronunciation. However, I prefer to translate them in a more meaningful way by using their yin and yang qualities and their 5-element attributes. Let's say, in the 10 heavenly stem, for example, the first heavenly stem is translated as yang wood, symbolizing the nature of a tall tree. The second heavenly stem is translated as yin wood, symbolizing the nature of grass. Then, third heavenly stem, yang fire, symbolizing the sun, etc. And the clock of heaven moves through these 10 sigils in a repeating cycle. How about the clock of earth? Then, we need to refer to these 12 characters. This time, we use the zodiac animal to represent these 12 unique symbolic Chinese characters. The first earthly branches is rat. Then the second is ox. The third is tiger, etc. And the clock of earth moves through these 12 sigils in a repeating cycle. This is the clock of heaven and the clock of earth. Both have their own way of counting time. So what about the human clock? We are all humans living between the heaven and the earth. The ancient Chinese, with remarkable insight, created the system of the 10 heavenly stem and 12 earthly branches, which is the combination of the above and the below, to measure our human time. So, by pairing the 10 heavenly sigils and the 12 earthly sigils in sequence, it forms 60 combinations. Yang wood rat, yin wood ox, yang fire tiger, yin fire rabbit, etc. This is the human clock, which we call the sexagenary cycle. It moves through 60 unique combinations in a continuous loop. It always starts with yang wood rat and finishes with yin water pig. When one cycle completes, the next one begins. Whether it is the year, the month, the day, or the hour, they all move through the same 60 unique combination in an endless loop. When you open a lunar calendar, you can instantly see the heavenly stem and earthly branch for any date. Or just tap here to pick the date you want, select Western calendar, scroll to the day you want, for example, year 2025, April 26th, tap the complete button to confirm. Here you can see that April 25, 2026 align with the day of Yang metal horse in the human clock. If you scroll down slightly, you will see this, the year of the human clock, the month of the human clock, the day of the human clock and the hour of the human clock. Different apps use different layouts, which means the human clock can be hard to spot if you don't read Chinese. But don't worry, I'll walk you through the most popular lunar calendar app and explain how to read each layout. Stay tuned on my YouTube or Patreon. Up until now, I believe you have a basic understanding of how the ancient Chinese measured time. Now, let us go a bit deeper. What is fate? As we know, the system of heavenly stems and earthly branches times any given moment. It is a human clock correlated with the heaven clock and the earth clock. Whenever a baby is born, it indicates that a new life is entering the human world. From that very first cry of the baby, the human clock stamped this single moment. This moment is marked in the sexagenary cycle in terms of the year, the month, the day, and the hour. For example, this baby is born in the year of Yang Fire Horse, the month of Yang Water Dragon, the day of Yin Metal Rooster, the hour of Yin Wood Goat. Chinese call this table a bazi chart. This chart is like a birth certificate granted by heaven and earth. It marks the time this baby enters the human world, with ba meaning 8 and zi meaning characters. Indeed, these characters are the 10 heavenly stems and 12 characters of the earthly branches we just mentioned. In bazi chart, each column stands like a pillar, and the 4 pillars together hold 8 sigils characters. These are the year, month, day, and hour pillars. Each pillar carries 2 sigils characters. Above must be heavenly sigils and below must be earthly sigils. So, this bazi chart is a birth certificate issued by heaven and earth. Within it, you find the identity assigned to you by heaven. You might ask, where? Here. Always on the day pillar. The above one. This heavenly sigil character defines who you are. This is the identity bestowed upon this baby. Let me give you some examples. Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. She was born on the 13th October 1925 at 9 a.m. local time in England. Thanks to modern technology, I no longer need to calculate the chart manually. Instead, I can use the app to generate the bazi chart, and this is the app I often use. Just tap here, a window will pop up. Select this button, Western Calendar. Then, enter Margaret's birthday, the year of birth, the month of birth, the day of birth. Tap this button to enter the time of birth. It must be local time. Margaret was born on at 9 a.m. local time in England. After all, on the gender field, male or female. Tap female. Finally, tap this button. A full bazi chart is generated instantly. Don't panic when you look at this layout. All you need to focus on is this section here, where the 4 pillars are shown. Here is the bazi chart of Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. From the moment Margaret entered the human world in the year of Yin Wood Ox, the month of Yang Fire Dog, the day of Yang Metal Horse, the hour of Yin Metal Snake, heaven bestowed upon her the identity of Yang Metal. This sigil is her identity. She is Yang Metal. Margaret Thatcher was born to be an iron lady. In nature, Yang Metal symbolizes heavy metal, something like the steel, a powerful blade like the Dragonslayer blade. So, what other component makes this iron lady so powerful? The answer is fire. In the 5-element theory, fire refines metal. Great fire forges great steel. According to the birth certificate issued by heaven and earth, we see that the above has granted Margaret Yang Fire, while the below has offered her a red horse and a red snake, both carrying the essence of fire. All these fire sigils forge the Yang metal into a beautiful, refined steel, making Margaret a powerful and unbreakable iron lady. Bazi reading is a huge subject. I am afraid I cannot cover the full details in this video, but what I want to emphasize is this. The overall structure of the 4 pillars and the 8 sigil characters plays a significant role in shaping a person. Through the interplay of the 5 elements, yin and yang, and the technical implications carried by each sigil, this birth certificate issued by heaven and earth gives every individual a different fate. Different people are born with different birth certificates. If the hour of birth is unknown, we cannot know which sigil heaven and earth placed on their time pillar, and that single sigil can shape a completely different fate. Take George Floyd as an example. His identity is yin water. This is the identity heaven assigned to him. Yin water in nature is like dew. It is something gentle, soft, and quietly alive. It may appear as mist in the air, as rising vapor, or as the delicate droplets that rest upon leaves. And this is George's bazi chart, built from the true details of his birth date. The only missing piece is the birth time, so the hour pillar remains unknown. So far, we can see that heaven has placed many water sigils around George. They represent siblings, peers, or competitors because of their same nature. Although George, as a yin water, is surrounded by many water companions, it does not mean he is a strong yin water. Because this yin water has no roots beneath it. Without any water sigils acting as roots, George becomes a weak, delicate, fragile form of yin water. What makes his situation even more difficult is that Earth has given him many soil sigils. According to the 5 elements theory, soil disrupts water. This small drop of yin water becomes fragile and exhausted. It struggles very hard for his survival. This is why the last two sigils on the time pillar become crucial, whether the unknown sigils can nourish the yin water or they are the sigil pressed against him. There are 12 possible time pillars on the 14th October 1973, George's birthday. Let's presume he was born in the hour of the ox. If this is true, here is his hour pillar. And this is the full version of his birth certificate. It appears that while heaven was indeed offering him favorable sigil, the earth below offered the exact opposite. It seems the earth shows no mercy. It grants him 4 soil sigils. They are unbearably heavy, pressing upon his fragile yin water. Looking at the entire architecture of his 4 pillars, we cannot find any wood sigils he can use to weaken the soil, nor any metal sigils to generate him. With such a structure, his life was never easy. But let's say, if he had been born at a different hour, for example, the hour of the rooster, with favorable metal sigils to support him, a completely different story would have been written. And George Floyd would never be George Floyd. Instead, this yin water would be someone else. From the moment we are born, we are given a role to play and a fate we must face. We, as humans, cannot override the structure of the 4 pillars arranged by heaven and earth. But don't be disappointed. Although our fate is fixed, time keeps moving forward. Since our human clock has not stopped. The destiny disk within our bazi chart keeps turning. This big destiny disk rotates every 10 years, and this small destiny disk rotates every year. Therefore, somewhere along the road of our life, our favorable sigil will surely show up. This is just a matter of time. I believe bazi reading also demonstrates us why timing is everything. Sometimes we push with all our strength and still fail to beat our competitor. And sometimes, everything works out smoothly. Let's use Formula 1 to illustrate this. They are F1 drivers Valtteri and Lewis Hamilton. From their birth certificate, heaven assigned them a different identity. Bottas is a yang metal, while Hamilton is a yang fire. When yang metal and yang fire serve the same team, Mercedes, the 5-element theory reveal the truth. Fire refines metal. Bottas was often overshadowed by Hamilton. He was even ordered to give up the win in the 2018 Russian Grand Prix. A moment so painful it almost made him walk away from F1, because he knew he had the strength to beat Hamilton on track. But he never gave up. He kept refining himself. And when his favorable sigils finally appear on his destiny disk, everything works out smoothly. Bottas eventually claimed many Grand Prix victories, proving he was never meant to stay as the number 2. Why sometimes we are in bad luck? All because our favorable sigil has not yet shown up. Though our fate cannot be changed, time can change. So, never give up, save your effort and wait for the good time to arrive. I hope you like my explanation about fate and destiny. If you want to know your own bazi chat, I recommend you to download this app. See the description box below. Oh, and remember, don't ask AI. Because I tested several, and many generated incorrect results. Now, it's our 1-minute writing session. Today, we're learning Chinese character, day. And this is the character you often see on the lunar calendar. Thank you for watching.